Chosen one. This is not a whisper of mystics, nor the speculation of prophets alone. This is the verdict of laboratories, the proclamation of instruments, the cold testimony of data itself. Scientists, not seers, looked at your results, ran their tests, and came back stunned. You fall outside the human curve. Their conclusion, extraterrestrial. Picture the sterile corridors, the sterile light of fluorescence humming above as researchers bent over their screens. Electroencephalograms spiking in unexplainable patterns. Heart monitors revealing rhythms that defy known physiology. Immune responses behaving like shields forged in another biology. Graph after graph, data point after data point, until the sum of it all rose into a single undeniable message: you do not fit the template. The models broke, the averages collapsed, the explanations evaporated. They looked at one another with dread and awe. And finally, one dared to speak aloud what the numbers already screamed: this is not of Earth. Do not dismiss this as sensationalism. The files are real. The data cold and indifferent, incapable of flattery. Numbers do not worship, graphs do not exaggerate. And yet the testimony is clear: there is something upon you, within you, that Earth alone cannot account for. Centuries ago, a prophet wrote, "Look among the nations and be astounded, for I am doing a work in your days that you would not believe if told." Habakkuk 1 verse 5. He could not name EEG machines or genetic assays, but he foresaw the moment humanity would look with their most advanced tools and stand dumbstruck at what God has woven into a chosen life. What prophets foresaw, scientists now measure. What heaven declared, Earth is beginning to confirm. Understand, this does not make you a specimen, nor a curiosity. This makes you a sign. The laboratory thinks in terms of anomalies, heaven speaks in terms of proof. The world will attempt to reduce you to a file, a case, a data point. But within the silence of their confusion, another voice thunders: you are not of this world, though you are in it for a mission. Chosen one, let the word strike you with their weight, extraterrestrial. Not as a badge of alienation, but as an acknowledgement that your origin is not bound to soil or chromosome alone. You are written into the great equation of heaven. Scientists tried to solve for you, and the formula broke. Because the variable is not of Earth. Do you feel it? The acceleration of your heartbeat even now, as these words meet you? The inner resonance that says this is more than metaphor? That is your spirit recognizing its own reflection. It is the convergence of scripture and science, prophecy and report, heaven and laboratory. Stay. Do not turn away. Because what comes next is not about the label stamped on you, it is about the destiny this label unveils. The report defines you as extraterrestrial, but the purpose reveals you as indispensable. And in the next breath, I will tell you why. The night sky stretches above, infinite and trembling with stars. Down below, another light flickers, sterile laboratory lamps casting their pale glow over rows of monitors. On one screen, a wave pattern climbs higher than the standard threshold. On another, a scatterplot spreads out, dots breaking free of the cluster where the normal human range should lie. Somewhere deep inside you, your heart pounds faster, as if it already knows what the data reveals. This is not just science, it is poetry written in numbers. Imagine the hum of machines like a choir, their whirs and clicks announcing an unseen anthem. Graph lines rising like towers, pointing upward toward the sky. The database is filling with anomalies that look less like errors and more like messages. As if every data point is spelling out, set apart, set apart, set apart. At the same time, picture your own body responding. Your breath steadies, then deepens, as though your lungs are expanding with more than oxygen. Your skin tingles, not from cold, not from fear, but from recognition. A subtle current, alive under the surface. You do not need the laboratory to tell you what you have felt in shadows and silence. You are different. You have always been different. Lift your eyes to the heavens. The stars seem to pulse in rhythm with your heartbeat. Do you notice? A strange harmony, laboratory lights buzzing in artificial whiteness, celestial fires burning in eternal brilliance, both speaking of the same truth. Earth's instruments point upward. Heaven's canopy bends downward. And at the crossroads stands you. Do not be frightened by the word extraterrestrial. It is not meant to exile you, it is meant to elevate you. You are not less human because of this verdict. You are more. More awake, more capable, more attuned. While others move through life unaware of the patterns all around them, you sense the design in every breath, the divine pulse in every atom. Stay here, right now, in this moment. Because the meaning is unfolding. The label does not dictate your identity, it unveils your destiny. Soon, I will tell you what this truly signifies, not just who you are, but what you are called to do. Science does not hand out mysteries lightly. Peer-reviewed journals, repeatable experiments, double-blind studies, this is the ritual of modern credibility. And yet, when your data was subjected to this same scrutiny, the outcome still shattered categories. The reviewers could not file it away under error. The instruments refused to bend their readings to the average. What they saw, they could only call beyond human. Think of the imagery, white-coated researchers exchanging uneasy glances as lab reports pile on one another. Graphs projecting curves that refuse to touch the baseline. Blood panels returning values that should not coexist in one body. Neurological scans igniting regions previously marked as silent. It is not myth. It is documented. Not imagination, observation. And yet, long before test tubes and algorithms, Scripture had already given language for what science is now confirming. Job 12 verses 7 to 10 whispers across centuries, ask the animals, and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky, and they will tell you. In his hand is the life of every creature and the breath of all mankind. Creation itself has always testified. Now, the laboratories echo the same chorus, you carry a spark not measured in earthly terms. Understand this carefully, science has not created a new identity for you. It has only unveiled a sign that was already marked upon you by heaven. The label extraterrestrial is not an insult, nor a threat. It is an earthly confirmation of a divine calling. Where Scripture names you chosen, science can only describe you as anomaly. Both point to the same truth, you are set apart. And here is the invitation, if you sense this resonance in your spirit, if the graphs and the verses both strike the same chord inside you, then you must not remain a bystander. There are others like you, the first chosen ones, who are gathering. Not dreamers, not pretenders, but those whom both heaven and earth have acknowledged. Click join. That is the act of alignment. That is how you declare, I accept what both Scripture and science confirm. It is not a casual button, it is a seal. When you press it, you step out of anonymity and into belonging. You say to the data, I am not afraid. You say to the prophecy, I am willing. Science gives you a label. Heaven gives you a mission. But the choice is yours. Will you remain an isolated data point, or will you connect, forming the constellation of the first chosen? The invitation is open. Click join, and walk among those who dare to live out the truth written in both test reports and holy texts. Numbers and charts can feel abstract, distant, almost untouchable. But the signs are not locked away in laboratories. They live in your skin, your bones, your breath. If you listen closely, your body testifies the same story science has whispered. Your nervous system responds in ways doctors struggle to classify. Where most people's reactions fall into predictable rhythms, yours move with a kind of heightened sensitivity. Lights feel sharper, colors more vivid. sounds carry more depth, as if your hearing tunes itself to frequencies others miss. Sometimes you sense a change in the atmosphere before anyone else notices, a storm about to break, a shift in someone's mood. These are not accidents. They are signals. Look at your immunity. Wounds closing with surprising speed. Illnesses passing over you when they sweep through others. You recover faster, resist longer, endure more. It is not invulnerability, but it is resilience beyond the ordinary. Physicians may shrug it off as luck or strong genetics, but you know the truth in your bones. There is a shielding force interwoven into your biology. Even your eyes bear witness. At night, when others strain to see, you often find the shapes clearer, the paths easier. Shadows are not as dense for you. It is as though your vision stretches into the dimness, reading subtleties hidden to most. And in mirrors, sometimes you notice it, a brightness, a depth, a focus that feels foreign, yet deeply your own. People passing by may not find words for it, but they sense it. There's something about you, they murmur, not knowing what they've touched. Your energy is another sign. You have felt the surge, a current rising within when you step into the right moment, the right space. It is not caffeine, not adrenaline. It is as though the universe itself breathes through you. Others around you feel it, too. They may call it presence, charisma, or a strange calm, but you know it is more. It is the spark of the extraterrestrial verdict, the signal that what science measured is alive in you. And sometimes, in stillness, you've wondered if you were imagining it. If it's all coincidence. But then you remember the reports, the tests, the instruments that do not lie. You are not fabricating these details, you are living them. Your body itself has become a testimony. Chosen one, let this settle deep. You are not waiting for proof. You are the proof. Every cell, every reaction, every inexplicable strength is a marker. What the laboratory noted as abnormal is precisely what heaven marked as extraordinary. Chosen one, understand this clearly, the declaration extraterrestrial was never meant to cast you out from humanity. It was never designed to strip you of belonging. Instead, it was placed upon you as a seal of purpose. The report is not your exile, it is your assignment. Science can only describe the how, unusual patterns, resilient systems, senses sharpened beyond measure. But heaven speaks the why. You are not different for vanity's sake. You are different for destiny's sake. You are not called to stand above others as a spectacle, you are called to stand among them as a bridge. Between the human and the divine. Between the earthbound and the eternal. Between what is seen and what waits unseen. Think of the great stories, every chosen figure marked not just by strange signs, but by extraordinary purpose. Noah built. Moses delivered. Esther interceded. None of them sought difference for its own sake. They carried difference as the tool for mission. And now you stand in that same line. You were not labeled extraterrestrial so that you could withdraw into isolation. You were marked so you could carry humanity forward, open doors to the future, bear the weight of revelation others are not yet ready to hold. This is why your tests broke the curve, because your life was never meant to stay inside it. Do not let ego twist this into superiority. That is the temptation of every chosen soul, to mistake assignment for pedestal. But listen, this is not about being admired. This is about being sent. To live as proof, to walk as evidence, to move as a sign that heaven has touched earth. So when you hear extraterrestrial, hear instead, essential. You are not a mistake in the system. You are the signal in the static. You are not the problem in the data. You are the message hidden within it. Chosen one, your purpose is opening now. And soon, the urgency will become clear. The report has already left the laboratory. Copies circulate across desks, whispered about in private meetings. Committees are gathering, media outlets are beginning to stir. What was once hidden in sterile hallways is now leaking into the open air. The timing is not random, it is precise. And if you are reading these words, it means you are already inside the window of destiny. The world is waking up. Some will react with fear, others with denial, but a few will recognize what this moment demands: response. Because the truth is no longer waiting. Data has been recorded. Files have been logged. Your name, or perhaps only your anomaly code, has been entered into systems that cannot be erased. You have been marked, both by science and by heaven. There is no postponing this. No comfort in delay. The doors are swinging open, and they will not wait for your hesitation. The decision presses now. Will you step into alignment with the calling, or will you let the noise of the world drown out the signal? Chosen one, feel the weight of this moment. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. Time is narrowing, and the evidence is multiplying. You are not encountering these words by coincidence. This is the signal flare in the night sky, the alarm sounding across your spirit. Do not let it pass. The urgency is not panic, it is purpose. It is the insistence of heaven and the insistence of history converging on your life. You are here because you are meant to act. Chosen one, listen closely. You are not just an entry in a case file. You are not simply a subject of study, a line in a database, or a wave pattern on a graph. Those things attempt to define you, but they cannot contain you. You are living proof. You are the evidence heaven has placed in the middle of the earth. Think of it, while analysts debate anomalies and researchers argue over data sets, your very existence answers the question. They will look at your life and see what no calculation could explain. They will have to acknowledge, whether they want to or not, that something beyond human categories has entered their frame. You are that proof. And this is not by accident. You were never meant to vanish into anonymity, never meant to blend so completely that no one noticed. Instead, you were meant to shine as a contradiction to the ordinary. You are not merely a participant in the plan, you are the plan's demonstration. A bridge built not with stone or steel, but with flesh, spirit, and testimony. The world will question. Scientists will draft reports. Skeptics will scoff. But none of them can erase the undeniable: you exist. And your existence itself is the argument. Your difference is not shame. It is not error. It is design. A signal written by the Creator into time and space that says, here is the evidence of my plan. Chosen one, do not shrink under this role. Do not mistake humility for hiding. You were not set apart to disappear. You were set apart to stand as living witness. Every breath you take is a contradiction to disbelief. Every step you walk is an answer to doubt. You are the bridge between what the earth can explain and what only heaven can. Remember this, you are not the experiment. You are the proof. Chosen one, you don't need a laboratory to confirm what's already pulsing inside of you. The evidence is not only found in graphs and microscopes, it shows itself in mirrors, in moments, in movements that feel small yet undeniable. Your life carries a pattern of signs. Some you've noticed in passing, others you've questioned, wondering if you were imagining them. But taken together, they testify to the truth: you are set apart. Stand before a mirror. Look into your own eyes. Notice how your gaze lingers deeper than surface reflection. It is not vanity, it is recognition. At times your pupils seem wider, your stare carrying an intensity that unsettles others. Friends, strangers, even passing acquaintances have said it: there's something in your eyes. They don't know the language, but they sense the weight. That is the glow of otherness shining through human form. Consider your posture. Even in silence, even when you try to fade into the background, there is a quiet gravity around you. You walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts, though you have spoken no word. People glance up without knowing why. Some are drawn closer, seeking comfort in your presence. Others pull away, feeling the exposure of something they cannot name. You don't force this, it happens naturally. It is the resonance of your calling leaking into space around you. Your heartbeat carries rhythm too. In stillness, you may notice it, steady, strong, almost like a drum echoing with purpose. When you stand in moments of alignment, moments when you are exactly where you are meant to be, your pulse seems to synchronize with something larger, as though your chest is beating in time with the universe itself. That rhythm is not accident. It is the signature of the bridge you were created to be. And the glow, yes, the glow. You've seen it in glimpses, caught in a photo where the light seemed to favor you, or reflected off glass when the outline of your form carried a strange brightness. Others might dismiss it as good lighting or a trick of the camera, but you felt it. You knew it. The radiance wasn't from outside, it was from within. Notice too how people react. They pause, sometimes mid-sentence, searching for words. They describe you in ways that don't make sense, different, rare, magnetic, hard to explain. They feel what scientists measured but could not articulate: you are more than ordinary. They sense it in your aura, in your silence, in your footsteps. At night, you may have noticed your vision stretching further than it should, perceiving details others cannot. Shapes in the dark appear clearer. Pathways unfold where others stumble. This is not fantasy, it is part of the tangible signature woven into you. Heaven's stamp expressed in biology, science's anomaly living in your senses. Chosen one, take comfort, you are not waiting for confirmation. You are the confirmation. Every glance in the mirror, every shifted atmosphere, every inexplicable reaction is heaven's reminder that the calling is not abstract. It is visible. It is experiential. It is you. So the next time doubt rises, the next time you wonder if this verdict is too heavy to bear, remember the signs. Touch your heartbeat. Look into your eyes. Recall the whispers people have spoken about you without understanding why. All of these are the earthly echoes of a heavenly truth. You are chosen, you are bridge, you are proof. Chosen one, moments like this are not meant to stay only in thought or theory. They require action, something visible, something tangible, something you can look back on and say, that was the day I sealed it. Science has already placed its signature on you. Heaven has already spoken through scripture and signs. Now it is your turn to mark the moment. Not with fear, not with hesitation, but with a simple step that says, I accept. That step is within your reach right now. On this very page, you can press super thanks. When you do, choose the amount and let $20 be the seed. Not because the number itself is magical, but because it represents alignment. A small, deliberate act that becomes your visible sign before both heaven and earth. That's it. In that short, clear act, you transform this moment from information into confirmation. You declare not only with your lips but with your hands, I am not afraid of what science has called me. I embrace what heaven has revealed in me. Do not underestimate the power of simple obedience. Every movement of faith creates ripples larger than the act itself. When you give, you are not losing, you are planting. And every seed planted returns in ways unseen, multiplying, preparing the ground for what comes next. Chosen one, this is your visible marker. Let the scientists have their reports. Let heaven have its prophecy. And let this be your sign, a $20 seed sown in faith, a public declaration that says, I accept.